So I'm on my way to an appointment right now, and I just have some thoughts in mind that I would like to express to all of you. I believe that these thoughts are vital for God's people to understand, especially now during this time of war and during this time when Satan is working so hard to spread his misinformation, his lies, all of the propaganda that's coming out from leftist media sources. And so I hope that you will listen to this message and you'll hear my words. And I also hope that you will understand that I have at least some authority to speak on these subjects. Certainly a heck of a lot more authority to speak on these subjects than these bleeding heart liberals, these virtue signaling keyboard warriors, because you see so much of it. I mean, I've been seeing it like crazy, whether on YouTube or on Facebook or any of these other social media platforms. There are all of these leftist or certainly left-leaning types that are crying out right now, oh, the people of Gaza are suffering so much at the hands of the Israelis, and oh, the IDF is committing a genocide over there in Gaza, and I mean, it's outrageous. Oh, and the thing that's even more sickening is how so many of these people who profess to be Christians, I mean, they profess to follow Jesus, the Christ. They profess to follow he who is Jewish. He is of the tribe of Judah. He is a descendant of King David. He is most certainly of Jewish blood. These people who profess to follow Jesus, profess to follow Yeshua, their anti-Semitism and genuine hatred of the Jewish people just bubbles to the surface during a time like this. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. You see, something we need to recognize is that more than one thing can be true simultaneously. You see, I can recognize, the truth that there are plenty of problems in Judaism, the religion, the dominant religion here in the land of Israel. I can recognize that fact. B, I can recognize that the Israeli government, because it's a world government, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to have plenty of problems. I can recognize that fact. But also, C, I can also recognize that overall, the Jewish people are decent, good human beings. And they are the victims of an horrendous attack, an absolutely vile, pure evil genocide, a Holocaust that has been committed against them by Hamas. I can recognize all of these things simultaneously. And fourth thing I can recognize is that Hamas, they are the true enemy here. They are the villain in this story. And they, as the villain, deserve everything that is coming to them and has been coming to them. They deserve to be utterly wiped off the face of this earth. I can recognize all those things simultaneously, and I can show my love as Jesus, Jewish Jesus, showed his love for the general populace by being over here in the land of Israel and helping, loving, serving, volunteering, and praying with them. You see, you can do all of these things simultaneously. And that's what our Lord Yeshua did. When you look at Yeshua, the only group of people that he was like completely opposed to, they were the religious leaders, and not just all of the religious leaders. No, because you have examples like Nicodemus, who was a Pharisee, even a leader among the Pharisees, but he still was a man that recognized truth and desired truth and righteousness. No, the ones that Jesus was actually opposed to were the religious leaders who were not doing their job. The ones that were withholding the key of knowledge from the people. The ones that were spreading lies and a man-made religion. And even knowingly doing so. Those are the ones that Jesus was actually opposed to. But if you look at his ministry and his life, when it came to the general populace of his Jewish brothers and sisters, he was nothing but loving and compassionate and kind and merciful, and went about doing good among them, serving them, loving them, healing them, performing miracles among them, teaching them. Why can't we follow in the footsteps of the Master and do likewise? Because that's what he's called us to do. I mean, I've had multiple people in the last week and a half, last 2 weeks, tell me that because I have come here to Israel and I'm now here in Jerusalem, working to serve my Jewish brothers and sisters, I have had multiple, quote, Christians tell me that what I'm doing is wrong, what I'm doing is awful, and I will not see Jesus. I will be condemned for my actions, and I won't see Jesus. And my response to all of these people is like, well, I'm sure glad to hear that you know. I'm sure glad to hear that you are the eternal judge and arbiter of all truth. Oh, that's right. You're not. You're not. And these people are saying that I won't see Jesus? Okay. Maybe you should try to remove the beam out of your own eye before you seek to remove any speck out of your brother's eye. Just a thought. I do have authority to speak on these matters because I'm actually here. I am here in Israel. I am here in Jerusalem. I am among the Jews. I have spoken with so many of them. I have seen the light in their lives. I have experienced their love. I have experienced their passion for life and goodness. I have seen and experienced all of these things. And even before coming to Israel, I even had several days' experience among the Muslims in Amman, Jordan. And I can tell you that there is a very, very different spirit among the Muslim people than there is among the Jewish people. I can tell you that because I've felt it. I've lived it. I've experienced it. And I'm over here and I'm actually talking with the Jews. I am talking with IDF soldiers. I am seeing it, living it. I'm not back in America listening to CNN or any of these other leftist media groups and then hopping on my keyboard, typing in a bunch of virtue signaling messages, thinking that somehow I'm making the world a better place. You're not. You're really, truly not. Let me give you some facts, okay? Let me give you some facts. Got some truth coming your way. You ready for this? Because these are hardcore facts. This is sledgehammer truth for you. Fact. When it comes to Hamas, their charter calls for the extermination of the Jewish people. It calls for the eradication of Israel. That's who they are. That's what they want. That's in their charter. Fact two. Hamas's motto is that they love death as much as the Jews love life. And the Jews do love life, and it's beautiful. It's right. It's good. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters because they do love life. Whereas Hamas, they love death. They love evil. They love murder and mayhem. That's a fact. Another fact for you. Hamas, the very Hebrew word Hamas, you know what it means? It means violence. That's what Hamas means in the Hebrew language, violence. Because you know what? That's exactly who these people are. Hamas and their religion of Islam, it is a religion of hatred. It is a religion of violence. It is a religion that calls for the extermination of Jews and Christians throughout the world. And it's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. And what's even more disgusting is that this is the same religion that exalts itself in the eyes of all the world as being a religion of peace. A religion of peace? If you buy that bull, then you're a complete fool, is what you are. That's just all I have to say about that. Other facts for you concerning Hamas, specifically Hamas. It is a fact that they hide their armaments, their rockets, their fuel, their ammunition in those places in Gaza where civilians are. They hide it in schools, in hospitals, in apartment buildings. That's a fact. And they hide it in these places because they don't give a damn about their own people. They don't care about the Palestinians. In their eyes and mind, the more dead Palestinian children, the better. Why? Because they know that the bleeding heart liberals and leftists of the Western world will flock to their side, will come and support them in their so-called cause. But what is the cause? What's the cause of Hamas? It really, truly is the extermination of Israel. That's what they want. It's not about land. It's not about really anything that, these people claim, that they want, or what the media claims they want. Only if there was a Palestinian state, well, then there would be peace in the region. Do you know how many times Israel has offered Gaza, has offered the Palestinians their own state? Several times. It's already happened several times over the last several decades. And Palestine has always turned them down because they don't want their own state. They want the region empty of the Jews. That's what they truly want, because they're evil, sick bastards. So Israel has already tried the, quote, two-state solution many times. But the Palestinians and Hamas has turned it down every single time. You want to know another fact? Here's another fact for you. The Jews abandoned Gaza in 2005. Since 2005 till today, there has not been a single Jew living in Gaza. Not one. And the Israeli government has had zero influence in Gaza. It's like, you people want to, take care of yourselves and have your own thing going for you? Fine. We will leave you alone entirely, except to provide you with actual benefits from us, just out of the goodness of our heart, at Israeli taxpayers' expense. Things like medical supplies, we will provide that for you. Things like electricity, we will provide that for you. Things like water, we will provide that for you. Just because we actually do want peace with you. That's what we want, and we will just provide all of these things for you. But you know what the Quran says? You know what Muhammad's evil book says? That if a Jew or a Christian ever lends you their aid, their support, well, then you as a Muslim, you should accept that. You should accept that support from them, but you should also remember that that person is your enemy and someday you are going to kill him. That's what the Quran says. The Quran also says that the day will come when the trees and the rocks will even cry out against, the Jewish people. And if a Jew takes, shelter behind a rock, the rock will cry out to the Muslim, "Come, Muslim, there's a Jew hiding behind me. Come over and kill him." That's straight from the Quran. So, since 2005, no Jew has lived in Gaza, and the Israeli government has had zero influence over the region. Palestinians, you take care of yourself, and we are still going to provide you with all of these free benefits from us. And what did the Palestinians do? They immediately raised up Hamas to be in power in Gaza. That's what they do. And Hamas has had 100% control of the region ever since, for the last 17, 18 years. These are all facts. You want some other facts? Okay, here's some other facts for you. Because there are so many of these same so-called Christians that are saying that the Israeli government and the IDF, they're so immoral and they're so wrong for what they're doing in Gaza. The reality is, the fact of the matter is, the IDF is easily the most moral army on planet Earth. Easily. You want to know what the IDF does to ensure that loss of civilian life is minimal? You want to know what they do? The extreme measures that they take? They send leaflets into Gaza by the tens of thousands. They make phone calls to Palestinians, warning them about specific targets that will be attacked. They text Palestinians. They send them text messages warning them about specific targets that will be attacked. They send messages over the radio to the Palestinians. They drop specific types of bombs on targets first that do not destroy the target. All it does is shake the building as a last warning, get out, because this building is housing Hamas armaments and Hamas commanders and rockets that we are going to destroy. But if there's any civilians in this building, get out. Okay? Another fact for you, getting back to Hamas. They use civilians as human shields. This is well known. Hamas uses their own civilians as shields. They also, whenever civilians are trying to leave an area that's going to be targeted and attacked by the IDF, Hamas will set up roadblocks to prevent their civilians from leaving the region. I mean, when it comes to the moral difference between the IDF and Hamas, Hamas is straight out of the pit of hell. And the IDF, easily the most moral, most civilized army on planet Earth. That's the moral difference between the two. It is utterly extreme. The difference is extraordinary. I mean, no army on earth goes to the lengths that the IDF does in order to ensure that loss of civilian life is kept minimal. No army does what the IDF does, not even close. So these are just some facts for you. These are some hard-hitting, sledgehammer facts that hopefully will shake you if you watching happen to be among those that are, crying out, for Gaza right now. And you know what? I'm not deaf to their cries either. Because obviously there are innocents in Gaza that are dying. I understand that. This is war. Civilians do die in war. That does happen. So I'm not deaf to their cries. So this is what I say. First, when it comes to actual innocent blood, innocent Palestinian blood, in Gaza, every single drop of innocent blood is 100% on Hamas and only on Hamas. That's the first thing that I say. Second thing that I say is that concerning that innocent blood, I praise the true God, YeHoVaH Almighty, that in his infinite mercy, he saves the innocent. He saves the eternal souls of the innocent. So, hallelujah. Praise YeHoVaH for his amazing mercy. That's what I say concerning the innocent. Now what I say concerning the guilty. And this includes Hamas, from their organizers and founders and commanders, all the way down to just those that support them. Okay? You also need to understand that there are plenty of Palestinian civilians that have thrown their lot in with Hamas. They threw their lot in with Hamas, and they have been supporting Hamas for many years, and they are even among people that were celebrating right along with Hamas and all of their murdering and butchering and raping and kidnapping of the Jewish people. Okay. Concerning those Palestinians, I say, may their end be the exact same end as their evil masters. That's what I say concerning them. And now getting back to the innocents in Palestine, the innocents in Gaza. Okay. The absolute best thing that could ever happen for them is for Israel and the IDF to utterly and completely eradicate Hamas, to permanently put an end to all of their corruption, all of their evil, all of their butchery and savagery. That would be the best thing that could ever happen for the Palestinian people in general, easily. And the reason why it would be the best thing is because the Palestinian people could use, like really truly use, the light and the wisdom and the guidance of Israel and the Jewish people. The Palestinian people could be benefited so much by what Israel has to offer when this war is over. And the Palestinian people are not going to be benefited by allowing Hamas to continue in power, and they're not going to be benefited by some two-state solution where some equally corrupt Arab regime is allowed to be put in power. Once again, just like another Hamas or another Hezbollah or another Iranian regime. Once again, calling for the extermination of Jews and Christians around the world. So, this is war. There are casualties in war. There is collateral damage. The IDF does everything in their power to prevent that collateral damage and to minimize that collateral damage. Hamas does everything in their power, however, to make sure that there is as much collateral damage as possible to gain the sympathy of the world, to gain the sympathy of the blind, deaf, and dumb, the useful idiots of planet Earth. And it works. It really works. But truly, the best thing that could ever happen for the Palestinian people is for the IDF to wipe Hamas off the face of this earth. And I pray to YeHoVaH, God Almighty, that that is exactly what will happen. This is Jake Hilton with the Sword of YeHoVaH Ministries, coming to you from the Holy Land, coming to you from the Holy City, Jerusalem, wishing you all shalom and praying to the one true God that he will bless and keep Israel and all those who stand with Israel. I'll be seeing you soon. I love you all. Shalom.